going on? What's going on? Hey, wait. What's going on? What's going on? Relax. What's going on? What's going on? I only got my phone on me. What's going on? Okay. Hold on. Wait. What's going on? Hold on.
You know what's going on.
Hold on.
Over here stealing shoes.
What's going on?
Yeah, we're gonna explain it to you, okay? Relax.
Hi, how are you?
All I did was take a
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay.
Tattoo is very undertaking.
Please escort the alleged bathroom bandit over to the security office for questioning.
All right, what's your name, man?
Do you have an idea on your hand?
All right, I'm reading something, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to have a lawyer with you prior and during any questioning.
I'm under arrest.
You detained. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to speak and answer questions?
Just want to know what's going on.
This is a yes or no. We need a yes or no if you want to talk to us.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Can you spell your first name for me?
T-A-Y-S-H-O-N.
T-A-Y-S-H-O-N. Middle initial.
D.
And spell your last name.
G-I-N-E-L-L-A-S.
Better can I say your name as you?
Nah, Tayshawn, and then you take one. Tayshawn, then you take one. You're 23 years of age.
And when you say your birth was?
Boy, ain't nobody got the same name as you.
Is
Trying to say somebody else did it.
you up there?
You said June 22nd?
1993. That's my brother name.
Tag 2 and tag 3. Yeah, his birthday is.
Any tattoos?
This was TP on the backside.
Where you at?
Go back in. Is one of them his brother?
Hi, welcome in. Thank you for watching.
That's his brother.
That's the brother?
Yeah.
Let me see.
What you mean, see? That's brother.
That's not my biological brother. Whoever y'all see on that camera, not my biological brother.
You have tattoos where?
This was TP on the backside.
Does it say Quincy on your right hand? Tap for Israel.
This is crazy, man. I just made a phone call something.
Not right now.
Tap for Israel. Reference the email Quincy, which one has a tattoo and Quincy on the right hand.
Thank you for joining and watching.
We're investigating the death.
10-4, that's gonna be our subject. Alright, you wanna say your name, date of birth again? What's your first name? So tell me your first name. Okay, so you were giving us the wrong name and date of birth. Doctor was 55. Alright.
He said he was trespassing here.
Trespass, and I think obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, that trespass wasn't done after a year's trespass for life?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't come back.
I signed a paper where I wasn't there. So how did you make the phone call?
No, we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna do that. We can get to the jail, you can do that.
I just need to let someone know as soon as that house paid.
You left your son by yourself?
No, somebody paid somebody, I let them know that nothing we can.
You can make that phone call when we get to where we're going.
It ain't always something. You up in here stealing. Exactly. Try to at least. But to be blaming somebody else is crazy, right? Like, you up in here stealing. You got caught this time. And, you know, it's always something. Make better choices. Yeah. Exactly. He should have, huh? Or did he go change the shoes up in the bathroom?
I think he did on the aisle.
Please, I know it's something else.
People that have before definitely trying to get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't have it, John. Please. Please. My son is
You should have probably thought about this beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm not into phone.
Please answer the phone, man. Please answer the phone. Please answer the phone.
She said you'll get your call when you go to lock up. That sounds like a FaceTime too, don't it? Yeah. He probably using their Wi-Fi.
So I gotta face the judge. Yeah. So I know my heart. I said I had no gun when I go up to the jail.
I don't know what it is.
Please just let me know something.
Hurry up, bro. You're keeping up right now.
And I can take care of this.
I'm out here waiting for you.
He probably is. What's going on, bro? We didn't see the police. We outside. Where you at? Yup. Yup. Did you get it? Did you get it? You right. They probably outside waiting for him.
You gonna keep calling him? Mm-hmm. You're gonna see him walk out and go take off.
Mm-hmm. Look, he looking. They probably out right out front. That's probably them right there. Took off too.
They don't want me to talk on the phone for nothing, bro. What's wrong? They saying nothing.
This is my fiance. Don't have to line up. Let's hang up later, alright?
I need to get bailed out or something. We ain't got no money. You can see a fox, man. Plus me out.
No, you can't give him no hug.
I'm sorry, baby. Watch your foot.
The female officer records the phone number for 23-year-old Taekwon Pinellas, then notices his brother, the person Taekwon was attempting to impersonate.
Is he Tayshawn? Yes, brother. He's giving your name out and stuff to police. Talk to him about that.
Okay.
Talk to your brother about giving your information when we identify him. He's giving your information out. Yeah, he did. You're not, all right? He's gonna go to the booking, okay? And then when he gets to Lake County Jail, he can give you a call, okay? All right?
Oh my God. What is he getting arrested for?
Theft, trespass after warning, obstruction, because he gave the wrong name.
Oh my God, baby. What the
You good? You good?
Yeah, I appreciate you. You heard the statement and stuff?
I'm sorry. I love you. I love you.
Boy.
Hey, see if possible, get me out of here, baby.
Tattoo on his birthday.
See if possible, get me out of here. See if possible, get me out of here. What's she talking about?
I have to take on
What's she
10
talking about?
51 to the station.
What's she talking
Copy
about?
mileage.
What is she talking about? I love you, baby.
Taekwon was arrested and charged with retail theft, trespass after warning, and a false ID to law enforcement officers. The receipt valued the shoes at $49.98. They were taken and returned to the Walmart staff.
$50 shoes. Now he can't go to no Walmarts no more.
And $453 in court fees.
Yeah.
Now it might be obvious at first, but that man is not Elon Musk. That's actually 56-year-old Jeffrey Moynihan. But according to police, Jeffrey allegedly defrauded an elderly Texas woman out of $250,000. It all started in 2003 when a 74-year-old victim befriended, quote, Elon Musk on Facebook. The two exchanged messages for several months, and eventually Elon convinced her to invest in, quote, his business, reportedly promising a $55 million return.
Oh my God. She believed that he was Elon Musk messaging her on Facebook? Girl. I hate when people mess with the elderly though, you know? Yeah.
Good? Yes, sir. Bradenton police tracked Jeffrey down after the victim's husband told investigators his wife gave, quote, Elon Musk nearly $60,000. The real Elon Musk is not under investigation by BPD, but Jeffrey, he was arrested and charged with grand theft. At the time of this recording, no further details could be found indicating the outcome of this case. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Paramount Barrows' Research. It's written and it's produced by Jordan Chacon. Video editing is done by V.
Heard it all now.
I'm Sam Goldberg. We'll see you next week.
Elon Musk.
Three movers getting ready for the day.
Oh, you saw this?
An Amber Alert for a missing little girl to a safe end at the
Oh, this is out here. Yeah.
in jail.
Sorry, you were here because you were arrested on charges of custodial interference, a class 3 felony.
I go through the search for Kalani Rogers, where she was found.
What ended up happening with that?
These movers are
I
saying
think the
about what they did.
the movers ended up helping.
To say this, but
Oh, the movers helped find her?
I know. I think they helped. I think she was somewhere and they helped block her in or something until the cops got there.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to
Cause she was at a motel or something, wasn't she? Somewhere. QT, okay.
Arizona is back with them, thanks to a worker at a convenience store and some quick-thinking movers. The girl was only 2 years old, and what is really scary is that police say she was taken from her home by a woman who later tried to claim she was her own child. This case takes us to Arizona and a town called Avondale outside of Phoenix. On Saturday, February 21st, just before 2 p.m. Mountain Time, Avondale police issued an Amber Alert for Kalani Rogers, The alert said she was last seen at her home the night before, wearing pink pajamas and braids. And the woman police said she was last seen with, Marina Noriega. Noriega was described as a white female who was thin with brown hair, hazel eyes, and wearing a white shirt and pink fuzzy pants. People in Avondale, Arizona, got alerts on their phones and they were on the lookout. A photo circulated showing Noriega with Kalani in a stroller at a store. It was 6:51 a.m. on Sunday, February 24th. A man who works for Camelback Moving was sitting in one of the company's trucks enjoying his coffee. Look at the screen on your left. You'll see a silver truck pull in and park in a parking space.
Hi guys, welcome in. Thank you for watching.
Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but the woman who got out of the truck is Marina Noriega, and she's been accused of kidnapping a little girl just hours earlier. At 6:52 a.m., look closely. Marina comes back out to the truck and opens the passenger side door. She's there for just a short time, and then you see she pulls a child from the truck. Then Noriega walks back into the Quick Trip with the child. Again, it seems like a normal day outside of the convenience store. It's 6:53 a.m. and the Camelback Movers...
Because the little girl knew who she was, right? Because didn't she live with them or something?
So let's jump ahead a few minutes to 6:57 a.m. 3 of the movers are hanging out in the truck after getting some stuff from the store. They're getting ready for the day. But if we jump ahead to 7:01 a.m., you'll hear the driver talking on the phone. But look closely at the door of the Quick Trip. Now you can see that Marina Noriega has walked out of the Quick Trip with the little girl. They're back at the silver truck. The little girl is loaded into the truck and the door closes. But then an employee from the Quick Trip comes out and approaches the movers.
That's a good picture of her, and he's like looking at her. And in the thing it said the lady's wearing like pink pants. Remember? Yes, it is that one. Is that Loc? Is that Loc?
Sorry. My hand was slippery. Oh, that was good. They probably just gonna take that baby to Texas. He said it didn't look like her.
So the movers, they stay there, blocking in the silver truck carrying Marina Noriega and Kalani Rogers until police arrive. And because this is an Amber Alert, plenty of police officers arrive. You can see the number of officers from another Camelback cruise cameras.
Hi.
Cruisers surround the truck.
Thank
with
you.
Texas plates. Kalani Rogers was found safe and returned to her family. Marina Noriega was booked into the Maricopa County Jail on a custodial interference charge. She had been living with Kalani's parents, according to police. A probable cause statement claims the victims described Marina telling them that she was dropped off in Arizona from California and had nowhere to stay and no family to contact as her boyfriend or father were in jail. The victims recalled Marina making spontaneous statements about her baby daddy, and when asked if she had children, she said she did, but later recanted that statement. The family also reported hearing Marina mentioning that she had a dead baby. The family thought the comments were strange, but allowed Marina to remain at the residence under the belief that Marina may have recanted personal details to protect herself around strangers. The victims indicated Marina mentioned she had been in a car accident and had gone to the hospital. Based upon Marina's summary of her life and current circumstances, the victims allowed Marina to spend the night at their residence in Avondale, which they share with their 3 children, each under 3 years old, and their adult cousin, who was visiting and occupied the spare room. It was sometime early Saturday morning.
That's why you don't let strangers in your house.
As Marina Noriega left their home with their daughter. Police said they interviewed Marina Noriega, and she actually claimed that Kalani was her own child. A post-Miranda interview was conducted with Marina, who initially claimed the child was her biological daughter, stating the child was born in Sacramento in September of 2021, 2 years before the child was actually born, and that the child had been abducted from the hospital. Marina claimed to have come to Arizona to find family and located her long-lost child, coincidentally, at a residence near 107th Street. Marina struggled to spell the name of the child she claimed to have birthed under the name Melina, Malai, Melina, and Melini Noriega, and said she put her own father's name, Alex Noriega, on the birth certificate despite her father not conceiving his granddaughter. Throughout the interview, Marina provided inconsistent statements and vague details regarding the child's birth, alleged prior abduction, and how or where she located the child. Marina would not provide verifiable names, addresses, or timelines, and admitted a glass pipe located on her person during a search incident to arrest was a pipe she used the day prior to her arrest to smoke methamphetamine during the time she had control of the child. Eventually, police say Noriega came clean and admitted that Kalani was not her child and said she did not have plans to sell her or harm her, and she didn't really have a reason for taking Kalani.
All right, and go ahead, state name.
Marina Noriega appeared in court on that charge the day after her arrest.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Garcia, having read the Form 4, I do agree with Mr. Garcia that the defendant is a risk to the community, and that and I am going to go ahead, as I stated, and set that $250,000 cash only insurance bond in this matter. In addition, in the event you were able to place that cash only insurance bond, you would be subject to additional release conditions, including electronic monitoring, house arrest. You're not sure terms of being in the alleged crime. You don't have any contact with.
Where's she going house arrest to?
You not have any contact with anyone.
Back to Texas?
No exceptions to that. You are not possessing any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no alcohol.
The prosecutor also pointed out that Noriega, as I mentioned, had used drugs while she was with Kalani.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Just to circle back to the drug testing issue, I did a once over on the Form 4. I did find the basis for our recommendation. Your Honor, toward the end of the Form 4, it does appear that the defendant admitted that a glass pipe was located on her person during the search, and she admitted to using smoking methamphetamine the day before and that was during the time she had control of the child. Thank you.
Marina Noriega's bail was set at $250,000 with the conditions the judge listed about not having contact with the victims. But let's circle back to those movers from Camelback Moving who boxed in Noriega at the Quick Trip so she couldn't leave with Kalani. They played a pivotal role in bringing this Amber Alert to an end. So I'd like to bring in Chad Olson. He is the president and founder of Camelback Moving, and his employees are really a big part of this story. So Chad, thanks for joining me. Talk to me a little bit about what happened on Sunday when your guys, I guess, were out on a job and they are asked for help by this employee at the gas station.
Well, I would say it really started Saturday night because we all received this Amber Alert on our phones. They came in, anything from any time from Saturday afternoon. I got mine at 1 in the morning. So, many people were aware and alerted to this situation with this little girl before Sunday even happened. But we run 7 days a week here, so we dispatch 15, 20 trucks, and they're part of the regular routine.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Gas station to
Thank you for watching too.
Their coffee and their energy drinks and their donuts in the morning before going to our clients' homes. So we had 8 movers, 3 crews, so 3 trucks essentially, all at this QT, and we're familiar with the security guard that works there. So upon arriving, he had indicated to a few of the men that he thought that the Amber Alert victim and the suspect had just walked in and went to the bathroom. So a couple of our gentlemen went and casually grabbed the license plate, took a photo of the license plate. I think the security guard was a little reluctant to walk directly outside because they were parked right at the front door, and she'd already gotten back in the vehicle, so he didn't want to alarm her and have her leave before the police arrived. But he got on the phone with the police. We grabbed the plate, and then some of our movers were talking as we had trucks parked behind her, and they decided that this was they brought it up on their phone. They're like, yeah, look at even the same pink pajamas, that's her. And they decided to take action while eating their breakfast and slowly roll the truck up and block her in from leaving. We had a second truck then as well get in behind her, but she was essentially trapped between the building and our truck at that point. They then kind of commenced to have like a water cooler morning conversation where just, they were talking, casually talking, trying to be nonchalant about it. I don't think she was too suspicious until the very end. At the dash cam footage, you can see her kind of glancing back and maybe getting a little annoyed, like she's wanting to leave, but that's right when that 2 minutes, that's right when the police got there.
That's crazy. And so your guys, they did the right thing. I mean, they did what anybody would do, I think. And so how do you become aware that your crew or your crews become involved in this? Because, they're just doing what they do every day. Everybody involved in this is just kind of living their lives, and they become embroiled in this abduction case.
Yeah, I became aware when I got in a few hours later in the morning. I was alerted by my management staff, and I immediately was like, I went down and talked to the security guard. He's, they're all very reluctant to say this, but they're all heroes, and the Amber Alert system worked. There's so much good news here for what could have been a terrible, terrible situation. But, as a company, many of these employees are long-term employees. Some of them are newer, but as, a company, we have core values like giving back to the community and being proactive. But this is a little different than that. This is a bunch of dads in the truck. And, you may be able to hear children in my office right now. You know, we were babysitting kids, you know, for some of the interviews we did yesterday. We're a family company, and this was a bunch of men that were like, if this was my kid, we would, you know, if this is the wrong person, we'll apologize. But we don't think it's the wrong person, and let's block them in. And you know, we were 8 deep there, and you know, so I don't think this was like a fight or flight type of dangerous involvement, but they got involved and did, you know, which anybody could do. You know, it's a great lesson for citizens. You know, we don't, you know, something, a small action can have a huge result.
But here's the thing, not everybody might get involved, and the thing that really gets me is that, you know, we don't know if Kalani could have been in some danger. We don't know how this woman could have reacted. So, you know, the actions of the people around her could be very important, and it sounds like they did everything right. You know, the authorities were called, they blocked her in so she couldn't leave. That prevents her from possibly fleeing with the child and getting into some type of, you know, possible pursuit with police. So it sounds like everything worked, you know, as well as it could and as perfectly as it could under those circumstances.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think would have happened had we not done anything. Like, it would have been her probably leaving about a minute before the police arrived. So there would have been you know, a lot of, you know, potentially a car chase or something like that, really endangering the little girl. So yeah, we couldn't be more proud. You know, today they're teaching me. You know, I mean, it's really a testament to their character, and just, you know, the dash cam is really interesting. That, you know, we have these Samsara cameras, front and back facing, so that we are able to capture, you know, all the footage is from our dash cams from the 3 trucks, all the police pulling up, her getting out of the vehicle with the child. But the internal dash cam is really interesting as well, because it shows the entire conversation and the technology working. I have one employee on his phone on a Snapchat call with his girlfriend. She's telling him, you know, here's the picture, like, look at, you know, is this her? He's showing the driver on his phone. The other employees already got the plate. He's on the driver's side.
They was getting it together.
Let's just block them in. Should we block them in? You know, and my driver's eating this donut, just like, you know, we'll block them in, you know, and we'll apologize for this later. So it was really just interesting to kind of see how the whole thing naturally formulated.
Those dash cameras that you have,
that was just perfect.
Those cameras are amazing, because it really does kind of tell the story in real time, as you mentioned. Are those just kind of like a safety feature that you have in there, or why do you have those?
100%. We have an entire fleet of vehicles out throughout the, you know, Arizona and across the country on a daily basis. So having those are a few reasons. So one, there's just there's AI in the cab. So if a driver was tired or looking, you know, it will sound an alarm within the cab and also notify us in the office that we have a driver alertness issue.
That's
cleanliness as well, smoking or vaping.
Your trucks at work has those?
Like you can pick up a cup or whatever, and like it'll beep or whatever at you, and it'll like say like a circle with no food or whatever, no food or drink. And it'll like beep at you if you have like a cup in your hand, if you're taking a drink or something.
Really?
Yeah,
you're not supposed to have that?
Nah, like you're not supposed to supposed to be hands free against obviously when you're driving.
Oh yeah.
So like if it sees it, then it beeps at you, or if like the front of the camera is like covered or it can't be seen, then it's like beeping because it can't record it.
I want to go back to your being kind of shy about this.
Oh, okay.
You called them
Wow.
heroes. I think they are heroes, along with the guy at the gas
So they making
station.
sure.
So, you know, are they just feeling kind of shy and like they just kind of did what a dad would do, and you know, are they kind of just humble guys? I mean, because I feel like they deserve some recognition.
They absolutely do. We will be doing, you know, some special stuff for them here within the company. But yeah, exactly. You know, when we asked who wants to, who would participate in interviews, I already knew the answer on a few of them, and that they're just, you know, like, no, like, we just want to. I want to go to work. I'm just glad that she's home safe was kind of the universal answer that we got. We had a few gentlemen that were great and kind of did some interviews with us yesterday, but you know, they're dads as well. So they've got, you know, kids that are sick at home right now. You know, there's another family emergency going on. So, you know, I've kind of become a little of the voice and face for them in this instance. But, you know, the one thing we've talked about is that, you know, there were 8 gentlemen there, is maybe doing like a week's paid vacation for them, kind of giving them the gift of time with their family back, I think seems right, but we're still working something up, and then seeing as well, just kind of waiting if the city or the state has any, you know, thing that they would like, you know, award or commendation for their, you know,
That's pretty cool.
Participate in this alert.
Yeah, I think they probably will get some sort of recognition from the city. Chad Olson, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story and sharing the story of your employees. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you as well for helping getting the word out. This Amber Alert system works. I know I'm going to be paying way more attention to it the next time I see it, although, you know, I already was aware.
Well, it was hard to not pay attention to it because it came directly to your phone.
A real feel-good story. Thank God you got home.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. Thank you. So Marina Noriega, she has a prior record and convictions for shoplifting, obstructing an officer, and threatening a crime with intent to terrorize. There's no word yet on whether the prosecutor will add additional charges at grand jury. Right now, she remains in the Maricopa County Jail. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
The evidence will prove that Corey Richens murdered Eric for his money and to get a fresh start at life.
Utah mom and children's grief book author Corey Richens gets her day in court as she stands accused of murdering her husband Eric by poisoning him with fentanyl.
What?
It's a crime Corey says she didn't commit.
There's going to be times in this case.
A children's storybook author?
Facts with certainty.
Wow.
I'm going to show you the witch. And I'm going to take those same facts and those same witnesses, and I'm going to show you a widow.
And for the first time, we're seeing how Corey Richens reacted after she claims she found Eric dead.
What happened today?
We had a drink together at 9 to celebrate something at work tomorrow.
We're going through the top moments in Corey Richens' trial so far. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. It's been nearly 4 years.
That was the mic I was gonna get right there. I should have got that one. Yeah, that same exact brand.
A husband and a father.
I ended up going with this other brand though. I think it's cool though because the one right there that she got is like $3.99 on Amazon, but the one I went with was like $1.99. So I think it's good, you know, to start off.
Before police and prosecutors would say Eric's wife, Corey Richens, murdered
Need to jump out the window, you know.
with fentanyl by
Like
spiking
$400
his
mic.
drink. But Corey says that's a
Yeah.
lie.
It might be good enough, you know? And it was, it's a USB one, so it's just plug and play. You don't need like no other software or anything.
Children's book
Yeah.
entitled Are You With Me? To help her sons cope with the loss of their dad. 2 months later, she was charged and accused of killing their father by spiking his Moscow mule. Since that time, Corey Richens and her legal team have been embroiled in a contentious legal battle with prosecutors. Those prosecutors claim Corey had tried to poison Eric less than a month before he died on Valentine's Day 2022. And they claim she murdered Eric, believing she would inherit his money and life insurance policy to pay off hard money loans she had taken out to fund her dream of becoming a house-flipping reality TV star. And prosecutors say Corey had a lover. But Corey and her team say she and Eric may have had their problems, but they worked through them and they were in love. So let's get into it. The trial is underway and it began on Monday, February 23rd with opening statements. Let's start with the state. Here's lead prosecutor Brad Bloodworth.
The evidence will prove that Corey Richens murdered Eric for his money and to get a fresh start at life. More than anything, she wanted his money to perpetuate her facade of privilege, affluence, and success. Corey Richens owned a house flipping business. She would purchase, rehab, and resell homes. She presented herself to friends and business associates as remarkably successful. The evidence will prove that on the day that Eric died, Corey Richens owed over $4.5 million to over 20 different lenders. And she did not have the ability to service that debt because her bank accounts were exhausted and her credit was exhausted. She had been taking out new loans to include payday loans to service existing loans, but her new credit was drying up. In the 5 months leading to Eric Richens' death, Corey Richens overdrafted over 200 transactions.
Wow.
Totaling over $300,000.
Bloodworth went on to tell the jury that Corey was living a lie.
And on the day that Eric died, Corey Richens was scheduled to close on an unfinished and derelict mansion in Midway, and thus take on an additional $3.2 million in debt. She did not have the financial ability to service that debt, to rehab the mansion, or to hold on to it long enough to resell it. The mansion may appear impressive from a distance, but upon close inspection, it is just a facade. On the other hand, on the day that Eric died, his estate was worth over $4 million. And the evidence will prove that Corey Richens believed she would inherit it all. She believed that she would inherit Eric's $2 million interest in the stonemasonry business, an interest that a prenuptial agreement prevented her from getting any part of.
Oh, okay, so that's why she ain't divorced him.
But permitted her to get all of.
If he
Eric
died.
died while they were married.
Dang.
She believed that she would inherit the $1 million or so dollar home that they lived in, but that Eric owned separate and apart from her. And she believed that she would benefit from nearly $2 million in insurance on Eric's life, to
Thank you
include
so
the
much. I appreciate you.
$100,000 policy that she took out a few weeks before he died.
Brad Bloodworth also told the jury about Corey Richens' boyfriend.
9 days after the charged attempted murder, 1 week before the charged murder, Corey Richens text messaged her boyfriend, "I have a crazy dream. You quit your job, I divorce and come up with millions and millions. We buy Midway and live in the guest house and rent out the huge house as a big event center. $15,000 a day like they charge down the road, maybe $12,000 to stay competitive.
She text that?
Center at their daily job and hang out every day. Raise some
Right.
have a little farm, deal?
Wow.
Just over 2 weeks after Eric Richards' death, Corey Richards text messaged her boyfriend a link to the secret St. Martin's Resort and Spa in the Caribbean and asked,
wow,
are we there yet? One month and 5 days after Eric Richards' death, Corey Richards texted, I think I want you to be my husband one day.
And there were text messages that Bloodworth
Wow.
said detectives found on Corey's phone that showed she was up to something nefarious.
She got a new phone. And on that new phone, there were the following internet searches. Can cops uncover deleted messages iPhone?
Yes.
Can you delete anything off an old iPhone without actually having it?
No.
Can deleted text messages be retrieved from an iPhone?
My goodness. The Google searches always kill me.
Completely wipe an iPhone clear remotely. How to permanently delete information from an iPhone remotely. On April the 13th, 2022, about 5 weeks after Eric Richards' death, detectives informed Corey Richards that the autopsy and toxicology results show that Eric died of fentanyl poisoning. Thereafter, searches on her phone include if someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate?
So prosecutors say that Corey's motive for murder was very simple. She was in debt, she needed money, and had a boyfriend on the side. The defense painted a much different picture of Corey Richards for the jury. Corey's defense attorney, Kathy Nestor, conceded in her opening that Corey and Eric's marriage was far from perfect. But she said Corey was no murderer.
Eric and Corey adored their boys. They were their world. They were in that place that those of us who had kids have all been in, where you spend your days driving them around with soccer and all their activities, and they're just the center of your world. And that's how both of these parents felt about their kids. They loved them a lot. And what's more important is that the boys adored their father, adored him. And Corey knew that about her sons and about her family. Their marriage had survived through some rough times, and you're going to hear about that. Like any marriage, it wasn't a perfect marriage. They'd gone through a really bad year where they both contemplated divorce, and they did what a lot of couples do. They went to marriage counseling, they worked it out, and they decided to stick it out, and they did.
Kathy Nestor then told the jury about what the defense believes is a key
guys,
weakness
thank you
in
for
the state's
watching.
case, the medical examiner's
Have a good
determination
one.
regarding Eric
Talk to you
Richards'
later.
death. His